It doesn't seem like anyone should feel lonely in the 21st century. Never before have we had the ability to connect so easily to literal strangers in just a few clicks. We like each other's witty tweets or Instagram pics of vacation, and we friend on Facebook people we have never seen or thought about since high school. And yet, we feel lonely. Hi viewers, and welcome back to Bestie. Feeling lonely while surrounded by people is normal, especially if you're dealing with mental issues. A person can have friends, partners, significant others, and still feel lonely because loneliness comes from within. There are many reasons, and in today's video, we'll tell you what they are. From being overly self-reliant, comparing yourself to others, having your guard up, being an introvert, to going through a lot of changes and more. Watch until the end to learn about all of them. Number 1. You pretend to be someone you're not. When you pretend to be someone you're not and people like you for it, it feels like you have to do this every time. When you have a positive social interaction, you reinforce the thought that people will only like you if you hide your true self. As a result, you never truly open up to anyone. Every social interaction starts to feel shallow because you never express your inner feelings. This creates a strong sense of emotional loneliness, even when surrounded by people. Moreover, you never talk about your insecurities or your struggles. We truly connect with people when we can talk about both our successes and our failures. Only talking about one of them and ignoring the other is a recipe for emotional isolation. Are you comfortable with sharing your struggles with your friends? Tell us quickly down below in the comments section. Number 2. You are overly self-reliant. While being self-reliant is generally a good trait, if you hesitate to reach out to people because you want to address your issues on your own, it might be worth exploring why. It may stem from a sense of low self-value. You feel the need to prove yourself without help from someone else. As a result, you portray yourself as an independent person, making other people respect you. This is another kind of mask, which reinforces low self-esteem and makes you feel lonely. Number 3. You compare yourself to others. At some point, every single one of us has compared ourselves to another in a way that shut us down. Comparisons come from one of two places: an inner want to improve ourselves or some unspoken need to discount our abilities. When you balance yourself against others in a way that says you don't measure up, you invite feelings of jealousy, resentment, and anger. It's hard to cover up these types of emotions when you're trying to connect with others. Whether it's intimidation or pushing others away, you're stopping yourself from opening up. This can bring up other problematic views like hiding your vulnerabilities, covering up who you are, and feeding feelings of isolation. Number 4. You crave closeness. Loneliness is a complicated affair. It might actually mean you're longing for connection. If your relationship with someone doesn't have that element of closeness, it may make you feel more isolated. In other words, if something in a friendship or romantic relationship isn't clicking like you want it to, you might wind up feeling unfulfilled. The desire to be relatable is what connects us to others and lessens our feelings of loneliness. Try focusing on cultivating that closeness with others by setting intentional time to just be together, taking a walk with each other, or going for coffee with no phones in sight. Still, it's important to remember that even if you are open to developing good relationships, you can't expect everyone else to jump on board. Not everyone will be open to developing a closer bond. That's why maintaining your existing friendships is so key. Have I caught your interest? Well then, hit that subscribe button and watch more videos. Join our millions of followers for more amazing Bestie content. Number 5. You're an introvert. Introverts can get a bad reputation for living in isolation. In reality, socializing can simply be exhausting, especially with big groups of people or environments where there's lots of networking. While it can be fun to catch up on the surface level, it doesn't necessarily make you feel closer to those around you. Make sure you're recharging your social meter when you need to. You may choose to stay in when you're feeling down so you can refill your emotional battery. Number 6. You have your guard up. Ever feel like people don't really know you? It's possible that you're surrounded by people who are not emotionally available or who aren't looking for relationships. It's also possible that you have your own guard up, and so you aren't sending out clear messages that you're open for new connections. Being genuine is one of the most important components of a healthy and sustainable relationship. When you have your guard up, you not only have challenges with authenticity, but also relating to others. Sharing yourself can be scary, but it has to start somewhere. Number 7. Poor parental attachment. More than anything, we learn how to connect and form bonds based on our caregivers. When there's a disruption in the parental bond, it often becomes more difficult to feel emotionally attached to others. The relationship we had with our parents tends to be repeated. If you feel dismissed, invalidated, or like your needs weren't met, then you're likely to expect this from others and treat them similarly. Worse, if you were scared of your parent or saw them as threatening, you might have an intense distrust of others. You may even find yourself in repeated abusive relationships. When the parental bond results in insecure attachment, chronic feelings that something is missing can develop. When you spend your life trying to fulfill the needs that weren't met as a child, this can lead you to be disappointed because no one can ever fill those needs. Sadly, you may even come to believe that you don't deserve love or closeness, reinforcing a pattern of chronic isolation and loneliness. Number 8. You aren't close to your friends. It doesn't matter how many acquaintances you have. If you don't have close friends or people you can truly talk to, you will still feel lonely. You may also feel lonely around friends and family if you tend to avoid or dismiss your emotions. Statements like, "You shouldn't be upset about that," can leave us feeling misunderstood and alone. The people around you may be uncomfortable with emotions, unempathetic, or even self-centered. Having close friends is one of the best things you can do to avoid loneliness, but it's easier said than done. Learn more by watching How to Find the Best of Friends. Now, back to reasons why you feel lonely even when you're surrounded by people. Number 9. You're spending too much time on social media. No matter what narrative you're trying to put up on your Instagram, the desire to check your phone constantly often signals that you want to check out of the present moment. In reality, we don't know what life is like for our peers behind the computer screen. Some studies also show that the lonelier person is, the more time they're likely to spend on social media. Social media can also give us the sense that we're with tons of other people. But because we're not gaining anything from face-to-face interactions or actively experiencing their lives with them, it can further contribute to feeling isolated in a big group. It does not matter if that group is virtual. Number 10. You struggle with codependency. Codependency is what happens when you base your sense of identity and self-worth on someone else's. When you're codependent on someone, you make them the source of all your happiness and put their needs above your own, which isn't healthy. You prioritize them over yourself and end up losing yourself in the relationship. To devote yourself so wholly to someone who's interested in what you can do for them is a lonely way to live. And that may be the source of your emotional turmoil. Number 11. You're going through a lot of change. Have you moved to a new school or a new city lately? Are you graduating high school or college soon? Do you feel uncertain about what the future might bring? It's normal to feel lonely, lost, and confused when you're going through a period of change. And as we get older, sometimes we outgrow certain relationships and drift apart from those we were once so close to. Change can be scary, but staying stuck in the past will only make you feel more isolated and alone. Because while you're holding on to something that's already gone, everyone around you has already moved on. While these are some reasons to feel lonely, there are those who prefer to be alone. These people have unique personality traits. Learn more about these traits by watching People Who Like to Be Alone Have These 11 Unique Personality Traits, or 8 Special Personality Traits of People Who Like to Be Alone. So go ahead and watch one or both of these videos if you want to know why people choose to be alone. Have you ever felt lonely even when you have a lot of friends around? Let us know in the comments below.